Hi everyone, it's Lady Mystic. I'm going to do a video today on being an empath and the effects it has. And I have Stephanie. Stephanie, what's your last name?
Sayer.
I have Stephanie Sayer. I'm going to turn you around so you can see her. There you are.
Hi.
Say hi everyone. Okay, we're going to do a live feed today, as I stated, on being an empath and how it makes you feel. And need to know basis. Look what's going on. Oh, it stopped. As we all know, we have Raven, so if we have issues with Raven, we'll take care of that. But I've had other people ask me about doing a video on being an empath and the effects that it has on us and the things that we can do to help relax and make it through our day. We're going to do that. You have to excuse, I'm still having issues. I am mostly better now. I'm still having a little bit of issues, but we're getting there. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself being an empath, and then we'll pull up Stephanie. Stephanie, I'm going to turn this down a little because we're echoing. Can you hear us? Is that better? Oh, okay. Okay, well, hang on. Look at Raven. Can you see him? Like, can you see Raven over there? There he is. Can you see him? He's going to be bad. He's going to knock them plants over. Okay. Anyway, I'm an empath, as you all well know, and being an empath, I'm sure Stephanie will agree, it's very hard sometimes because, you know, we can hear everything and we feel everyone's emotions and everyone's frustrations. And I don't know about you, but my hardest thing was when I was in New Jersey, when I moved here, and I'm sitting in New Jersey traffic. Oh, Stephanie, it was like I could hear babies in the back, like 4 cars back crying, and oh my, there's my cat, and sorry. And, you know, the traffic was really hard for me, and sitting in like traffic lights, I could hear everything in the businesses and in the cars, and I had to learn to put up it's almost like a cinder block and paint them black, even sitting in traffic, so I could not hear. And that helped me to deal with a lot of that. So that's one of the things that I do. I'm going to turn this around so they can see you, and you can tell them how you feel, okay? Hold on. Okay, can I got you? There we go.
Hi all. What's it be? As an empath, I don't actually hear voices, but what I get are powerful feelings. I know how people are feeling. When I meet them, I know how they're feeling. I guess the worst possible time for me was 9/11. I lived across the river from it, and I can't tell you, I must have cried every day. And it wasn't because I knew someone there. It was just these feelings that were coming across the river, and they were hitting me like tons of bricks. But even when I watch TV, know when someone's lying, it's a terrible burden. Actually,
It's very hard, isn't it?
Hard.
Yeah,
I don't wish, but yeah, it's difficult to even put into words. But I can meet someone even remotely on an internet and get a feeling. And it's not that I know someone or know someone's past or future or anything like that. It's just these. I guess it's the way my aura connects with theirs that sends, you know, all of these feelings. It's very hard to explain. I don't know what the chemistry is of it.
It is definitely very hard. Definitely.
Like I said, I don't wish it on anybody. I wouldn't, you know, and it's more than intuition. Let's put it that way. There is a fine line, but you know when you've crossed it.
Yeah.
Beyond intuition. It's more like I'm getting a physical feeling. I'm taking in someone else's essence.
How do you handle being like, I avoid hospitals. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
I avoid hospitals. I avoid concerts, movie theaters, shopping malls. I avoid anywhere where there's more than a few. You know, 5 is about my limit. Sometimes I may be able possibly to fit that last little sixth person in there, but it's
Yeah.
very rare that I can be in a situation where there. Sorry, it's my cat. Where there is rarely groups of people. That's very hard because I hear voices, I hear conversations, and it's almost like chatter. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's not really like words, and it's not really whole conversations, but it's like the chatter, and it accumulates so high sometimes that it makes my head hurt, or an anxiety or something. So I've had to learn to, I've learned to balance, which we'll talk about that as well. But it's it can be very difficult, and it's hard for the new people, because we're kind of, not saying we're old, but you know what I'm saying. We patients were almost making me worse because it was overwhelming me. So I had to learn to adapt to all the different. I'm going to turn this around for a few minutes so they can hear me. Anyway, okay, I'm back. But what I was talking to Stephanie about, she's walking around the house. I thought I'd give her a minute. But being an empath is very hard, and it's very overwhelming. But if you can learn to handle all the different situations and learn to balance that, it's not as bad as when you first start and you realize that, you're not crazy and you're not alone. And there's many, many of us, that can help you to adapt to the different way of life. But way back when, I had a psychiatrist tell me that I had many people living inside my head and I was multiple personality and blah, 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 blah. And, I said, okay, fine. And they had me on 7 different medications. And, it killed who I was. I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't process thought. I was always sleeping and I was always tired. But all that was a Band-Aid. This empath was still there. It's just that they medicated it. Did they medicate you, Stephanie? You were lucky, because a lot of us have been medicated. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you're not alone, and you're not crazy, and it's very overwhelming, as Stephanie and I were both saying. And I had friends in 9/11, Stephanie. I was on a phone when one of the towers was hit, and I felt all of that through that phone, and could hear, and it was horrible. And I agree with you, that was an absolute horrible thing. Some of us, there's different levels of being an empath, and I'm going to do this live tonight on my radio show. So I did look it up. So let me see if I can find that, and I'll give you some of the information. It says 10 types of empaths. It's saying there are emotional receptive empath, which says most empaths are emotionally receptive and can physically and emotionally feel emotions from other people before they are even expressed. Which is what Stephanie was saying, is that she feels people's emotions and a lot of things that goes on with that. And I also feel emotions as well, but I also hear the chatter. Some empaths don't hear the chatter, they just feel the emotions and the overwhelming of different emotions like depression or anxiety or stress. I was telling Stephanie that in the traffic in New Jersey, when I first got here, I could hear babies crying cars back, and people have an argument in cars, and it was very overwhelming. But I'm sure Stephanie can also tell you that she had to learn to handle all these different emotions. Sorry, I keep watching for Raven to come and knock my phone over. But the emotional one there, that's one. And then there's also a physical receptive empath. And many empaths are also physically receptive to other people's illnesses and bodily pains. Stephanie, do you feel that as well?
I don't get the pain. Thank God.
Yeah, I agree. Now, do you feel their illnesses? Can you tell when someone's sick around you before you see them?
No, I can't. But, just case in point, I saw someone on the news years ago, and it had to do, the girl actually, I don't know if you remember, she drove her children into the river. And
yes, I saw that. Let me turn the cam back around. There you go.
Yeah, He was on the news telling people, oh, find my children, blah, 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 find the killers, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at that and I said, oh my God, she did it.
She did it, yeah.
Right away.
So you can feel the illnesses. So you don't hear the chatter, but you can do emotions and what people are thinking before. Like, yeah, and there's so many different kinds, and that's another thing. A lot of empaths don't understand the difference in one or the other because they're just thinking, they've lost their minds, or they're out there alone, and they don't want to leave their homes, or they don't want to be near people, and it's sad that no one's given them that information.
No, people think you're crazy.
Yeah, they'll tell you that. I mean, I've had people tell me, "Oh my gosh, you must be crazy." But we feel different things. Let me give them a couple more off the list here, and we'll go over those as well. Let's see. You're gonna lose my face for a second. Okay, then there's another one called a Funa empath. This type of empath can hear, feel, and interact with animals, which I have a lot of ability with animals, and I think mine has to do more with me being Cherokee and growing up as the native and learning about spirit animals and guides and stuff. But I feel a lot of like pains from animals, or like if they're confused. So I guess apparently that's one of mine. I'm going to learn something today too. Another one's called a flora empath. This type of empath can communicate with plants, being able to receive physical and emotional signals. I can't do that. Stephanie, can you do that?
Thank God.
I know, right? Yeah, I can't do that. Now, I feel impulses from trees like I do crystals. So I don't think that's the same thing, but I can feel vibrations from trees and like the earth and stuff. Okay, something else is called a geomatic empath. That empath can read the energy of signals transmitted. Okay, well, apparently this is one of mine. Signals transmitted by the earth. Many are able to feel or predict natural disasters before they occur. Now, Stephanie, do you have that issue at all?
Not to that extent, but I do feel earth vibrations. I do feel energies coming out of the earth. I do feel that.
You do feel that? Okay. That's one of mine. I've always been able to feel things before they happen, which I really wish that wasn't one of mine. Because sometimes that is really craziness. Okay, medium empath. This type of empath can either see, hear, feel, or a combination of these elements, spirits, usually from deceased individuals. Now, Stephanie, can you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Well, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. What was that?
Really spiritual.
Yeah, I feel that. I have that one as well. So see, empaths are not just one kind of empath. So if you feel like you have more than one sign of being an empath, don't think you're crazy and you're alone and you have to deal with it by yourself. There are many of us out there that have many different abilities and many different feelings that we've had to learn to adapt to as well. Okay, the next one is called a telepathic empath. The ability to accurately read a person's unexpressed thoughts and the main defining features of telepathic empath. I have that when I do a lot of my soul. I do soul reading, Stephanie, and when I read from my soul, I can feel a lot of other people's like emotions, what they're thinking, where they've been, what they've done in their life, and I also do. It's called a soul card I read from, and it's kind of like a tarot card, but it's not really. It's really like a soul reading. And when I read from my soul cards, what I do is I talk before, and every time I say something and turn it over, that card is there. It freaks people out. It amazes me. I had one yesterday. She was like, "Wow, I cannot believe how accurate." It's like those cards have telepathically communicated somehow with my soul, and we've become like one entity together. It's very interesting. Let's see, what else can we tell you about being an empath? Being an empath can be difficult and confusing, but with an awareness and gifts and abilities, you can refine them and use them to guide, heal, protect yourself and the people you love. So that's one of the things Stephanie and I were both saying, is that you can learn to use your ability to help you heal and to help other people. But it does take a lot of refinement, does it not?
Yes.
You really have to pull yourself back and refine yourself and learn. Like I use breathing. Do you use breathing exercises sometimes?
No, I can't say I do, but sometimes I'll allow myself to look into something else. Like instead of being so receptive, I'll try to focus or concentrate on something else, and that's how I deal with it. How I turn it off.
Uh-huh.
Something really easily. I can get come out of it and go into something else easily because I feel it hits me more. I'm idle. When I think I'm just a natural receptor. I have no boundaries. I have no walls up there. So when I'm sitting idle, it hits me a lot harder than when I'm just out.
So if you keep busy, it's not as bad.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
yeah. I think that is with a lot of us like that. If we keep, like my husband says, it's the funniest statement ever. He says, don't let Misty get bored. Because when I get bored or like I'm stationary, my mind will not shut off. And it goes, and sometimes the things that go through it are not good because I get bored. I seem to get myself into trouble. I don't know. But then he giggles about, they need to keep me busy. So that's very important. Is there any other information that you want to give them?
Just that I think everybody really can feel. I mean, it's the sixth sense. I mean, people have the ability to feel, and you know what? When you do feel, you're more apt to be patient and better with other people. There's more love, more consideration. There's more of a lot of good qualities when you can feel someone else's joy, pain, nervousness.
Happiness, yeah.
A different plane, and I think that let yourself be open. Let yourself go out into the world without a wall in front of. And I think you'll be able to start feeling others, and I think that'll just actually help the world.
I think so too. And that was a very good answer, actually. I try to tell people about I read a lot today about, because I'm going to be doing this radio show tonight, and a lot of the web pages say not to put up blocks, not to put up walls. But without my cinder blocks, I don't think I could go out sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't think that I could, especially like to Walmart. Walmart is like, I go to drive in Walmart and my anxiety level goes from here to like here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's thousands of people in the store and it's, but I've learned, and I use crystal energy a lot as well. And sometimes without that little bit of protection or a little bit of block up, I'm thinking, I don't know how other ones feel, but with myself, I kind of need that just to reassure myself that I'm not going to go Walmart and lose my temper. Or I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Or play bumper cars. Like yesterday, I went to go out yesterday, and I got the urge to play bumper cars. I'm like, okay, Kathy, it's time to go home. Because it was just overwhelming yesterday. So I don't know if it's right to tell people to put a block up once in a while or not to put a block up. With what you're saying, don't go out and don't have blocks up. Maybe that really works good for you.
I don't have it to the extent that you do, so, it's easy for me to say that. But if I were to hear the chatter and have what you have, I wouldn't advise it then.
Okay, so you do advise that maybe it's... Okay, she's saying that if you have it like she does, to where she doesn't hear the chatter and the voices and the conversations and feel as much as I do, then it's okay just to go out and not have the blocks up. But if you're very sensitive, like I'm extremely sensitive, and I hear and feel, oh my goodness, everything that you could possibly imagine, and I've had to learn to kind of tone it down a little bit. And so it'd be kind of nice to have Stephanie's over here to where I could go outside and not have to deal with all that. But I do have that, so I have to deal. So if there's other people out there that have the empath abilities that I do, don't feel like you're alone, and don't feel scared, and don't You're not crazy, and you're not alone. And there are ways to learn to handle that and to balance and to, yeah, to live with it and to attune it to where you can deal with all the different pulses throughout the day. So anyway, we're going to cut this now because it's getting kind of long. But if you guys have any questions or you just want to talk about this or whatever, you have my web pages that you can, we have Lady Mystic Magic, we have Lady Mystic Meadows, and we have my Mystical Spiritual Lessons. Also, I will post in all my sister sites as well. And if you need to email us or ask questions, we're all here for you. And brightest blessings. And I'll post this now. Bye, everyone.